Barakatah Yahweh, all praises to the Most High. Shalom, Israel. We are the just men of the Most High. Yeah, we changed our name. We're going to change it on all our stuff, but this is just the beginning. We are the just men of the Most High. And we come to bring to you today the first lesson of the Hebrew alphabet. We're going to start teaching the Hebrew here. So this is the first lesson of learning the Hebrew alphabet. We ran it before. We're going to keep on running. We're going to teach our people this, our true language, our true heritage. That's part of the true heritage. And we're going to get that out the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah to my Malaks out here, Kwam Yasha'Allah. We for our people raising up, the just men of the Most High. We're not a camp. We're not an organization. We are a brotherhood, sent here to teach our people their true identity and nationality according to the scriptures. So we're going to start off with, in the Hebrew, in the Paleo Hebrew, there's a difference in the Hebrew. You got modern Hebrew and you got Paleo Hebrew, or what's called Phoenician. We're going to the Paleo Hebrew. That's our true language. The modern Hebrew is more the Yiddish and what the Amaleks and fake Jews speak. So we got to get back to our heritage, Israel. So like I said, the Paleo Hebrew, or what's called the Ahlapbayath, which is alphabet in the Hebrew. Our tongue is called the Lashawan Kodash. Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue. And that's what we're going to get into today. So, let's erase that. The Lashawan Kodash. English is not our real language. That was given to us by our slave masters. We got to get back to our true heritage, Israel, to our true God. Only way we're going to truly understand our scriptures if we get back to the original. All this is imitation. Even the King James. All of it is just imitation. Added on, taken away. We have to get to the original. We have to get to the truth. And in order to get to the truth, you go to the starting point. So that's what we're going to do today. So the first letter. Oh, let me also explain that the Hebrew language is 3 phases. It's pictorial, it's numerical, and it's speech, it's language, all rolled into one. So when I give you the letter, it's a number that coordinates with it. So you're going to learn the letter and the number at the same time. And these words the letters are taken from root words out the Hebrew language. And we're going to learn that also. So the first Ahlapbayath will be I. The sound I. The numerical value is 1. This is the symbol in the Hebrew, and the root word that they derived it from is Ahlap, which means ox or cattle. And they got this letter, this symbol, from the ox, because Adam named everything. So it wasn't written word yet. Adam named everything, so it went off a sound. So when he named the ox, he called it a lop. So that symbol, this looks like the symbol for ah looks like a sideways ox. And when you get to the real symbols, you would really see that, because it's more like that. Right. So all the words come from means. So the first letter is I. Number 1, it derives from the word Ahlap. And this is the words we need to start remembering first, fellas. The words that the letters are derived from, like Ahlap, ox. That's our first homework we need to work on. Remembering the 22 words at which the words derive from. Or 21, because ha doesn't have a word it derived from. And it helps with our everyday stuff, because like the lock, that's the door. We're going to be using that a lot. So the first word that we're going to have for our spelling is Ahlap. which means ox or cattle. Second letter, I'm going to try to go a little quick, but not too quick. Second letter is ba. Ba. The number 2. It's also the number 2. And this letter is derived from the word bayat, which means tent or house. Tent or house. And if you notice it, if you look at the shape of the letter, it actually looks like a tent with it turned sideways. So that's how I remembered it. See that, Yosef? The letter looks like a tent, it's turned sideways. Yeah. So when you want to remember all of it together, because when you think, what does ba mean? You know, bayat, they come from bayat. What's bayat? Tent. Tent, looks like a tent. Right. Then you'll remember the symbol. And it's also number 2. So you need to memorize everything that go with it, because it assists you in, if you forget one part, you'll remember another part that remind you of the whole thing. Right. That's what I like about it. Because it's the sound and a number and a symbol. So ba comes from bayat, which means house or tent. And we got to remember these symbols, because that's when we start writing. Like when we sing in the Lord's Prayer, it's easier to say the word from seeing the symbol than actually seeing it if it's written together like that. Right. Second letter is Ga. There's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Ga comes from Gamal. Which means camel. So number 3, and the way I remember Gamal is because got that camel hump. Got a little tail back there. Camels got tails? Mm-hmm. Long? Hey, y'all get the idea. There we go. So I remember that camel hump. Yeah. For Gamal. So when I'm going to write, so it look like the sideways hump. So you remember Gamal. Gamal means camel. Camel hump. Boom. Remember the symbol. That's how I know this is the Most High's work. Because it's easy. There's so many parts to it. If you remember one, you're going to remember the whole thing. Right. As opposed to English, this hard language, I don't even know how we learned. We was forced to learn it, my bad. We was forced to learn it. Still, it's took 4 years of English. Still makes it. Still make up our own shit. Yeah.
We showed that we should see the battle. We rename your ass.
Look.
Rename people all the time.
4th letter is Da. Da comes from the word dalat, which means door. And if you see, what was the door of the tent? What was the tent look like? Of the bee? No. It's just the door part of it. Right. So when you see Da, you remember door, the door of the tent. It's a triangle. Boom. The lot. It's the 5th letter. This does not have a root word which it derives from, but it means to reveal. Ha. So we got Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. First 5 letters. Looks like a backwards F with an extra line. I just had to memorize that one. Hey, Yeah, don't let that look like that. You got that?
Yeah.
Next letter, Y. Comes from the root word wawa, which means to secure. It means to secure. Y, or hook, or to hook. And the understanding for that, this is the thing about the Hebrew language. All of it revolved around our culture. We was nomadic and we was farmers. So all our stuff gonna revolve around that. That's why today's Hebrew doesn't fit in today's time, because the old Hebrew don't fit in today's time because the stuff that we doing now don't even associate with an ox. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it got meaning, but when you get to the gist of it, it was a lot was ox. We can use it, but how many oxes we got running around here? But when we was dealing with each other, all this really made sense. So Wawa, if you got that tent, right? You secured the tent. You know, when you secure the tent, the little metal thing?
Yeah.
We used wooden hooks back in the day. And it looked like that. We stuck them in the ground, so we had those, the U-shaped thing, it looked like a Y-shaped thing, and stuck the lines down. So
Right.
that's how I remember it means to secure a hook.
Or secure the tent. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can either look at it like a Y, or look at it like the stake that it was used. The stake was like this, and they put it down. So it means to secure or hook. Y. So a lot of it is word association. Next letter is Za. Za. Number 7. You see the symbol is eerily similar. Za comes from the root word Zion, which means weapon. It is also the number 7. The number 7. And the symbol is a Z. Ha! Ha! So to say it with your throat. Ha! 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 Sound like an Arab. Ha! It's the number 8. That's the symbol. It comes from Khat. Which means wall or to divide. And the way I remember this one, you take this symbol, turn it sideways, it looks like a wall.
I would even say a ladder.
Yeah, or a ladder.
Go up a wall.
Yep. Any way that works. Any way that works. Ha! 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 Chunks wants to build that hot. Trump wants to put up a hot. So the next letter is Ta. Ta. This one is easy. Just look like is that a railroad crossing? Comes from the root word ta, which means to store. Well, I remember this one. Say that's the top of the clay pot, right? Top of the clay pot. What you do with a clay pot, you store something in it.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Tot. Tot. Not dot. Tot. Not T-H-O-T. Yeah. 10. Yeah. Number 10. It's a symbol for it. I don't have no word placement to go with it. It means hand. It comes from the root word yah. And it's the thing. It's the first 10 letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ta, ta, ya. That's 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
After this, it goes up by increments of 20. So once you know, if you go, you can do ah, ba, ga, da, and get to 10 and to ya.
Right.
You know you're on the right page. When you learn it, you're like, oh, I got the ya, I got 10.
Yeah.
And then it's really just downhill from there. So we got 1 through 10. Through 10, and the first thing we want to do is memorize these sounds with these symbols. And that's how we're going to start reading. We got to remember the sounds with the symbols. All right? So the next one is ka. Ka. Numerical value is 20. It comes from the root word kop, not the 12. Kop, which means palm. The way I memorized this one, in the palm of your hand, you got them lines, right?
Yeah.
And I just associate that with the palm of my hand with them lines.
Right. Right.
So when I see ka, palm, oh,
20.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So would 18, like the number 18 would be ya, ka?
It'd be like, yep.
So you just add,
Yeah. Because if you notice in the Bible, it say the 20th and 5th day.
Yeah.
That's how you got to add it up.
Right.
That's why, now that really makes sense. When you know the language, you'll know why it's saying the 20th and the 5th day. Because you got to do if you're going to go past 10, you got to do the increments of 10 or whichever one, and then add that next letter with it. All praises. Brother in the spirit. Ain't that what they say? Brother in the spirit.
Brother in the spirit.
La. 30. This one is easy. Ahmad. This one, I'm going to take y'all all the way back. Like with the first letter, see, I actually went back, and I'm going to send it out too, to get to the original, so you can even see where the ones we writing come from. Like, we can't go writing with the symbols, you know what I'm saying? We can, but it's when we type, it's more modern meanings. But la comes from lamad, right? Which means staff or to learn. And you got the letter L. Well, the way I remember this, because in the original, the symbol is actually like a staff. It actually looks like a staff. That'll be the symbol for it.
Yeah.
And that's why it means staff. So, like with the ox, when you seen that ox, that's an ox. Oh, that's what that means. And that's what it looked like.
Right.
This come from this. This was a staff. That's what it means. That's what it looked like. So they called this a lamad. Oh, a lamad? Well, let's take the la, but let's use that.
Right.
So I remember la from staff. But it's real easy with the symbol anyway, the L. One of the easiest ones, that and the za. You know what? I'll read it at the end because I forgot to read those scriptures. I really got to read those scriptures. Ma.
And then you gotta watch.
We got this one brother, he might need to fall back.
What are you talking about?
No, somebody using that the image in Christ that IUIC made. No, that's the one we got from the store.
So the next letter is Ma, which comes from the numerical value is 40. Root word is mayim, mayim, which means water or sea. And the symbol looks like an upside down M with an extended line, which is real easy to remember. Because all you got is, upside down M, bring that line down. Ma, which means, comes from the root word mayim, which means water or sea. Next one is easy also, which is na. So you got la, you got ka, la, ma, na. Which comes from the root word nan. And this looks like a wa, a baby wa. This means fish. We're going to waters of the sea. Fish. And also, when you really get to go back, it looks like it actually looks like the symbol is, it means snake also. It looks like a snake in the original. But you ain't gotta remember that one. But I remember fish or snake, na. And our word associated with the ma, which means water or sea. And right after that, what goes in it? The fish or the snake from nan. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Sa. 60. Samak is the root word, which means thorn or support. I think the thorn is the ancient, so we're gonna go with support. You know, that one looks like a ladder too. So sa for samak, which means support. This is the symbol, which also looks like an ancient ladder, like the ones
They used to just have lean up against the wall.
Yeah. So sa. Next one is I. That's literally the symbol for I. And it means I. Figure that?
Yeah, it looked like
Yeah.
eyeball.
Yeah. Put that dot in there. What you looking at? Ha. Means mouth. So pa comes from the root word ha,
Ah,
which means mouth.
shut your pot hole.
Right.
Yeah. And the number is 80. This how I remember this one now. If it means mouth, right? So if you take that,
Yeah.
I see Darnell watching. Where's he at?
he having to deal with his family. So pa means mouth. And I remember that because this the symbol looks, it looked like a mouth.
Yeah.
So let me bring it. That'd be a cartoon drop, you know what I'm saying? So pa. This word, they mix it up a little bit at you. Tazah. Tazah comes from the root word tazah, which means side. Tazah. And this right here, this how I remembered it. Because this symbol almost looked like the word.
Yeah.
Tazah, it looked like the word, you know what I'm saying? And it comes from the root word tazah, which means side. And the first lesson we're going to have is we're going to learn the root words for the letters. So people watching the next class, we're going to have, remember the words, remember the sounds and the symbols. Remember all of it. So that we can start writing words out and understanding what they mean through the symbols. So we can start speaking to each other like we supposed to. And then while these other nations speaking their language and thinking they leaving you out of something. Because I'm about sick of being with some people and because they know I don't speak that language, they start speaking it as if, how we gonna keep something from you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to be able to do it too.
Yeah.
We just speak English and that's it. And it don't do me no good to speak Spanish. I ain't got nobody to speak it with.
Since those are not our people.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's why I say since they are not our people.
Yeah. Why?
Wow.
Why? That's 100.
I'm trying to keep it quiet. Quiet.
Trying to keep it quiet.
Keep it
Trying
quiet.
to keep it quiet, man.
It comes from the root word qua.
Trying to talk about horizon. I'm trying to keep it quiet.
I'm trying to keep it quiet.
Trying to keep it quiet.
And this how I remember this. Let me know when you fit. But we are trying to keep it quiet here at the Just Man of the Most High. We keeping it quiet.
Keep it quiet.
So it means quiet means horizon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take that horizon, put the sun on it.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the ancient way of writing it, really. And we're going to go through the ancient. I'm just giving you the one that we commonly use. See?
Yeah.
But you think horizon.
Right.
And you see that sun with that horizon. Oh, the next letter is Shah. Numerical value is 300. Bring that down. This is the symbol for Shah. A W. Comes from the root word shan. And it means teeth. Your cheek. And it's a good way to remember this. Let me see, I'm going to try drawing again.
It look like shark teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look like teeth.
Right.
Bugs Bunny teeth. Yeah.
So you say Sha, T, O, W. Fairly easy. And the last one, last letter of the Ahlapbayath is Twa. numerical value of 400. Symbol looks like a sideways T. Comes from the root word dwa, and it means mark
Of the beast.
the twala of the beast. Now look at it. It looked like a sideways T. When the pirates went looking for the treasure, what they were looking for?
X marks the spot.
Yeah.
What do you think they get?
Right.
They're looking for the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Twala. X marks the spot.
Alright.
So this is all 22 Ahlapbayath. I'm gonna write them out one more time for our audience. Brothers can say it with me. Let me give it to you.
Ba.
Yeah.
Ga. Ga. Ha.
And remember, we go right to left when we read in our Hebrew.
Not left to right. I just made that mistake earlier.
Wa.
Why?
Wow.
Za. Ha.
Ta. Ya.
That's a major. Well, all of them major. But Yah is around. You know what I'm saying? Yah.
Ya. Ka.
Oh.
Now that's pa.
That's ka.
That's ka pa.
Ka.
Ka.
And now we got the definition, meaning right.
La.
Ma.
Ra.
Na.
Na. Yeah. Na. Ra.
Sa.
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 Mhm.
Sa.
Ha.
Pa.
Now.
Ma.
Shazam.
Shazam.
That's Ra.
Give me the squat.
That's all good. Good. Caught that.
Qua. Ra.
Sha.
Ka.
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 Now let's count it down.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8, 9, 10.
10.
We know we right so far.
Yeah.
We know we right so far. We get the Yah, we got 10. That's 1 through 10. There we go.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
We know we're right so far. We get the Qua.
Right.
That's the 100. And then
200, 300, 400.
boom. So we know the sounds, we know the symbols, and we know the numbers. So it's just about knowing each meaning, and then we'll have it all. The first step that we need to move on to the next step.
Khan.
Khan. What do Khan mean?
Yes.
No is la'a. La'a is no. They say a lot of Khans in Israel. I barely hear la'a. Can I get that for you, brother? Khan. Can I get some tires from you? Not gonna be able to do well, yeah.
That's not telling you lie.
Well, yeah. Can I get Matthew 18 and 2?
I got it.
This is the Lashawan Quadash, everybody.
Yeah, I had flipped it on there.
Bring out a couple scriptures so we end this thing. La Rock Quadash. Lashawan.
Matthew
18, 2 and 4. 2 through 4.
18, 2 through 4.
Yeah.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 2. And Yahweh shall call a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except you be converted, and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
So Yahweh Shai is telling us that for us to be in this truth, to really be in this truth, we have to be as a little child again. So we went through that phase when we was in the Christian church and we found out the truth. And we started that conversion. But a child is a child for a while. It takes time to grow up. So throughout that process of being a little child growing up, you not only got to do away with the idolatry, do away with the sin, do away with all the things that you learned in this world, we also have to start coming closer to our God. And with that, that means coming back to our heritage. And part of the heritage is our language. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get that up the scriptures that part of this progression, people think that you don't have to go back to your language. I promise you, we start coming back to our language, the scriptures will make even more sense. And it's easy to learn. People don't want to learn because they think stuff is hard. This ain't hard. This is our language. You know what I'm saying? Let me get Isaiah 28 and 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
Keep reading.
For with stammering lips, another tongue will he speak to his people.
So, who shall he teach knowledge? So all the bruises in this mission know that he teaching us his knowledge. But you got to be weaned from the milk, drawn from the breast. You got to come out of Christianity, come back to your true culture. He said, and with a stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people. We all can testify through English. He spoke to us. That's the first step. Through English, he spoke to us. But it doesn't stop there. We don't just settle with the English. The reason why he had to speak to us with stammering lips and another tongue because we don't have our original.
That's right.
So he met us halfway. He didn't leave us in darkness and just, oh, y'all just be Christians and just die with it. No, he woke us up. He brought us to the milk. The milk was the starting part. The meat is the next part, right? So if you know the milk, what's the next step? How do you get to the meat? See, they think it's some man telling you, some man teaching you. I say, whom shall he teach knowledge? Not what man gonna teach you knowledge. Whom shall he teach knowledge? He said, with stammering lips and another tongue, will he speak to this people? He spoke to us personally through this stammering lips and another tongue. And we all can testify to that. So, it's time to get to the meat. If you up under somebody who has a doctrine that is immovable, that they can't be open-minded and humble enough to even explore and see what another Israelite is talking about, then you in something that is of man.
Con.
The Most High is always moving. The Most High is perpetual. This thing don't stop. Life ain't stopped. It ain't paused for you to say, hold up, I'm going to take a break. No, this thing keeps going. So while we've been in a deep slumber and a deep sleep, the other nations been having their language, their heritage for thousands of years. It's time for us to go back. And a lot of brews do. I'm not saying they don't. We are now. But it wasn't because of no man. Ain't no man teaching me this. I'm learning from man, but it wasn't man that said, hey, let me sit you down and teach you this. This is the Most High said, son, it's time for you to start learning this.
Come on.
Give me Zephaniah 3 and 9.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
For then will I turn to the people a pure language.
Hey, what?
A pure language.
Is English a pure language?
No.
Spanish a pure language?
No.
Latin a pure language?
No.
Greek a pure language?
No.
Modern Hebrew?
What's no?
La-ah.
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 Is modern Hebrew a pure language?
La-ah.
No. La-ah.
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 You got some more on that?
For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent.
How is we going to serve him with one consent if people with English, if people calling him Jesus, God, if people saying Jesus, Christo, if people saying Jesus, if people saying Yeshua, Joshua, Jehovah, you know what I'm saying? It's a pure language. And everything come from.
Con.
How about we get back to that?
That's right.
Why would we just stop at the New International Version? Why would we just stop at the New King James Version or the King James Version? Love the King James Version, but when you go to the Hebrew or the Arabic, there's some stuff left out of that. Out of the King James.
Con.
So how about we return to the pure language that's sitting there waiting on us? Because we the only ones gonna speak it. The rest of the world got their language. They not gonna speak the Lashawan Kodash. Only us Hebrews gonna speak that. Hence the name Hebrew Israelites. So we gonna let the Most High return the pure language to us. We gonna meet him halfway.
Con.
Because he met us halfway. With stammering lips and another tongue. So that's what I got for you. We're gonna come later on with a Feast of Dedication short class. But we got to give our praise to the Most High, man. Barakatah Yahweh. Because he the one going to do all this, man.
Con.
He's the one orchestrating all this.
Con.
So we're going to give our praises on the end of this Feast of Dedications to the Most High. Barakatah Yahweh. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Happy Feast of Dedications.
Con.
Peace.
Peace of dedication, family.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Israel.